So Matt, thanks for having a break in coffee. This has been a lot of fun making these videos and working these problems with you, but I have a question. You keep writing this force on some of your notes, and I don't know what it is. What is FGRAMP?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I made this up, and I forget that it's not actually a real force, it's a shortcut. I always have to remind my students of that. It is not a real force. It's technically the vector sum of the weight and the normal force. That makes it sound really confusing. I have a little diagram here to help explain that. What we have right here is a little ramp, and I tipped it at a slight angle so that if I release this mass, you can tell it accelerates. It starts out real slow and it picks up speed and it picks up speed and it crashes into the end. All right, FGRAMP is that force that's making that accelerate. Well, here's where it comes from. Here's the ramp that we have in front of us, and I always think of weight as pointing straight down.
Right, because it is.
Exactly. Now I've seen some textbooks when they try and explain like what FGRAMP is, they don't call it FGRAMP. They take this whole axis and they tip it and they pretend like the ramp is flat and the earth is crooked and weight pulls diagonally. That just blows my mind. That's why I made up FGRAMP, because I always think weight pulls straight down, normal force is perpendicular to the surface. So our normal force would point that way. If we take normal force and add these two vectors together, normal force would be over here. And I end up with this little dotted line as being the vector sum of those two forces. That's what FGRAMP is. It comes in really handy. If I label this angle theta and this angle theta, it's opposite of the hypotenuse. So FGRAMP is always sine theta times the hypotenuse, which is the weight. That's what FGRAMP is.
Oh, so really it's just the force of gravity going down the ramp.
Yep, parallel to the ramp. So
has nothing to do with your grandpa.
Nothing at all. Yeah, everybody always asks that. They're like, think it's some sort of grandpa force or something like that. Yeah, it's just how much force is pulling that thing down the ramp right now. Comes in really handy, a whole lot. So we just talked about normal force in the last video, and this is when normal force is on a crooked surface, it creates FGRAMP. All right, I hope you like that shortcut. Tell your friends, but remember, it's not a real force. It's just the vector sum of two other forces. Does that kind of clear it up?
That clears it up. I'm glad we had this moment of coffee and physics.
See you in the next video.